take off, and later on I'll feel my skin and it's still so moist.
All right, good morning to you. Brandon Robinson inside of programming here to bring you an update. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Laurel, Pulaski, Rockcastle, and Wayne counties. And the reason we're going on the air for it, there is a tornado possible tag on this one. So we're going to break into programming here for a little bit. And you see there going through 3:15 this morning and about 23, almost 24,000 people impacted with this. Moving pretty quickly there, around 50, 55 miles per hour. This one could have a little bit of hail in it, but we've not seen any hail reports tonight. 60-mile-an-hour wind speeds. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Let's go back to live pinpoint Doppler radar here for just a second and kind of show you the big picture, and then we'll zoom in on this warning. Line of showers and storms, a squall line working their way through the area right now. Very electric storm. We're basically right there kind of moving out of those areas coming into our region. We're looking at basically riding right along Highway 80, back past Somerset there, back over toward 27 there. If you're coming toward I-75, you're probably going to be kind of on the edge of this warning as it moves into Laurel County. You can see the polygon there going back over toward London there. So again, we're going to continue to watch this one for a little bit. But the reason we're on the air is because we know that these storms have had a propensity, a possibility of producing potential tornadic systems in the western counties. So we're kind of keeping an eye on these as they enter our region. Not overly concerned. We know there's going to be some wind with this, but we're going to keep an eye on this for you and keep you posted. This goes until 3:15 this morning, and that's for parts of several counties, including Pulaski, Laurel, and I believe parts of Rockcastle and Wayne as well. So we're going to watch this one for you just a little bit. I'm actually going to go over and look at the velocity. This is an area that we're not real, it's kind of out there. The further you get into our region back out towards Somerset, it gets a little murky from the Jackson radar. So again, we're not seeing a whole lot there. It's kind of a muddy area out there. But again, there is a tornado possible with this system. So we're just going to continue to stay with this for just a couple more minutes and kind of keep an eye on it as it moves deeper into our region. Now, once it gets closer to Rockcastle County and over toward Laurel County, we might be able to get a better look at it on velocity. So we're going to continue to just kind of keep an eye on this and see how it's going. But again, threat levels out there tonight for some strong winds, and that even once these storms have gone by, we're still going to see that all the way into Saturday. We have a couple of different advisories that go till a little bit later there on Saturday, and we're going to continue to watch those here for just a second as well. I'm going to zoom in just a touch closer on this here for you. That way we can kind of get a little closer look, kind of maybe give you some areas that we're going to be seeing impacted there. So of course, Somerset right there kind of in the middle of the situation there, back over going into parts of western Pulaski County, northern Wayne County there, north of Monticello and the polygon there as well. And then this goes all the way over into parts of western Laurel County, just west of London at this point. But the bulk of the storm still back out towards Somerset. A little bit of a bowing out segment right there. It's not well defined, but it's enough where you could see. Evan, take me in right here just south of Somerset for a second and let me see what's going on there. It looks like maybe just a little bit of a bow right there. You see that?
Whoa, sorry about that. Hang on. Wow.
Come back.
Goodness gracious.
A little bit too far, but yeah, it was basically come back out just right here.
Hang on, I'm having some mouse issues here, Brandon.
Okay, but right here, basically, if you're along 27, you see that little kind of a bowing right there? That could be some strong winds. Again, this is an area where radar velocity signatures are not the best right now, so we'll kind of keep an eye as it gets a little bit closer to the Jackson radar site. There we go. Got it reset there just a little bit. Right here is kind of an area we're watching. This just could be strong winds. It also could be a little bit of, maybe a little bit of a tornadic signature. Not saying that for sure, but just when it kind of, you have that little notch there, at least it's going to be windy. I can definitely tell you that. We're seeing some pretty strong gusts out there already tonight, and we're going to continue to watch that. So basically, just south of downtown Somerset there, back over toward, looks like 1247. Looks like if you're going out toward, looks like 914 over that way this morning. Just be careful. Of course, the bulk of this storm still in parts of Pulaski County right now, but it is going through toward Laurel County, toward Rockcastle County. It's to the east of Nancy there in Pulaski County. It's basically right up on Somerset. A lot of electricity there. You can see the little lightning strikes out there this morning, so we're going to continue to watch it. Let's go back to velocity one more time and see if we can see anything. There's a little bit of not discoloration, but it's different colors there, but where it's so far out. This is a very edge of the Jackson radar, so it's kind of hard to tell there, but basically, if you're along 27 there going south of Somerset, if you are going a little bit further north, you should be just in a heavy rain sector there. But I think the main area of concern is right here just south of Somerset at this point, and that will move toward London. Of course, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. Goes until 3:15 for parts of Pulaski, Laurel, Rockcastle, and Wayne counties. Just the northern sliver there of Wayne County along the Mill Springs area, and then basically through most of Pulaski County, most of Laurel County, not quite to London just yet, but it will approach the I-75 and US 25 corridor, and just basically just west of Livingston there in Rockcastle County. Maybe getting a little bit more definition here. Did you switch radars, Evan?
No, this is still the Jackson.
Okay, so it's
look from things.
It's a little bit closer now, but it's still hard to kind of tell. Right here would be, well,
I had switched it to Louisville. I'm not sure what's going on with my mouse here.
Yeah, so, but
1 second here.
Okay, right. The area of concern is right here just to the south of Somerset. If you're along 27, going back over in toward McCreary County that way this morning, that's the area of concern. It's south of Somerset right now, and we were showing a little bit earlier there once we get back to Jackson.
This one doesn't want to work for me either.
Okay, so I tell you what, let me zoom back here, and we'll reset here for just a second on this one, then we'll go back to velocity in just a second.
I'll tell you what, Brandon, do you have your magic track button pushed down?
I do not.
Okay, so now we're cooking.
Okay, so let me see.
So while we're resetting here and doing a little producing on the fly, we actually have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now.
Okay, I must have missed the second one.
So yeah, this just came in. We also have a new tornado watch.
Okay.
That is in effect for, let me make sure I've got it here, Bell, Clay, Jackson, Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Owsley, Pulaski, Rockcastle, Wayne, and Whitley counties through 7 o'clock.
All right, let me see if I can pull this up here for you real fast because...
oh, sorry, I switched that on to the wrong max box there. So Josh in the booth, can you, if you could put up max 2, weather 2?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's the areas that have just been added to that tornado watch. We'll zoom in a little closer and we'll read through those again for you. That is until 7 a.m. for parts of Bell, Clay, Jackson, Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, Rockcastle, Wayne, and Whitley. These were the areas that were under those level 2 and level 3 enhanced and slight risk there for yesterday as of day 1. So that continues out there. And of course, the main storm we're on for right now is the storm that is still kind of basically out toward Pulaski County and just south of Somerset. Let's go back in there on that one. And then, of course, that new severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible is for parts of McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley. So these are basically overlapping. So it's this line of storms right about here. Let me get the drawing tool. This whole line right here, if I can find it. Where you at? Okay. I'm just going to draw kind of a straight line here. I don't see the circle, but right through here, this whole line here has got a warning on it. So we're going to continue to watch that for just a second. Okay. So that's the area of concern that we're looking at right now. Let's go back to velocity if we can for just a second there. Let me bounce back over on the other computer. We might get a better look here. Switch back to the other computer. There we go. So basically, we're looking at an area of concern for the most part right here just south of Somerset. It's not real well defined, but we're just kind of keeping an eye on that this morning. There you go, Evan circling that for me there, and you can see it's just right there on 27 just south of Somerset. But of course, we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings with tornado possible tags on it. They both go until 3:15, but it's basically for this entire area. Most of Pulaski County included in that, northern tip not included right now. This will be moving, this one we're watching right here, over into parts of Laurel County, again, probably toward the city of London. Put a track on that cell for me right fast there, Evan, and we'll actually...
Make sure the speed on that, and then we'll get that...
Okay, I'm going to bounce back over here to radar for just a second for reflectivity.
So I just looked at this, moving east at 85 miles.
85 miles per hour. So this is moving fast, real fast out there. So if you want to back me up, put a track on it there. I do not.
Okay, then I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset here for just a second. Let me bring it back. So we may be having some computer issues. We'll work on that for you there. But again, this is moving toward London and Laurel County there at 85 miles per hour is what Evan was just saying. This particular warning here, right here, area of concern near Somerset, just south of Somerset, moving over into eastern Pulaski County as we speak. So again, we're watching also this little notch right here. Is 2 working better for you? Do we need to switch back to 2? Let's switch back to 2. Let's switch back to 2 for a second because we're having trouble with the mouse or something's going on with that one. There we go. Thanks, Josh. So we're going to continue. If you want to clear that line off there for me on 2, Evan, we'll maybe put a track on it this way. But recapping real fast, severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible tag for parts of Pulaski, Laurel, Rockcastle, and Wayne until 3:15, and then another severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on that there from parts of Wayne, Whitley, over to McCreary, and then again that goes all the way over basically into towards of is it Knox County too? I don't think it's all the way out to Knox County just yet.
Not the warning, no.
Okay, so here's the track. So basically, if you're in Williamsburg, it's going to be right on you about 325. A little bit before that in Stearns over McCreary County and Cooperative over McCreary County. 307 and 312 respectively for Cooperative and Stearns. Gray over in Knox County if it holds together to be around your area around 333. We're just past almost 3 o'clock here right now, so we're going to continue to watch that. And of course, we are looking at Big Creek into Clay County by just before 4 o'clock there if this holds together. Burning Springs around 345, 347 actually. But you can see that this storm is moving in that general direction and moving 85 miles per hour. Let's put a track on the northern storm there, which will actually go through London, and that will give us a better idea when it's going to reach over that way. So again, we showed you the southern storm, the track on that one. We'll put a track on the northern storm and show you when it's going to get closer to London there. Heavily populated area coming out of Somerset, another heavily populated area. So if you're traveling along the Hal Rogers Parkway going back toward London from Somerset, again, a little bit north of you for the most severe impacts with this. I think it's south of Somerset going back toward London. But you see London, you've got about 17 minutes, 3:17 there for your possible impact zone there for London, City of London proper, Mount Victory. I believe that's in eastern Pulaski County at 3:05, so just a few more minutes. Bush over there in Laurel County at 3:25, Burning Springs again on this one. So most of Clay County is going to be impacted by this storm, even if it's not still showing the history of a possible tornado. And that possible is the key word to remember in this as we get deeper into the night. So again, this is the area of impact. We talked about this on Facebook earlier. We talked about this earlier this evening on the newscast. This is the area if you're going to see, and if is the big word to remember here, if you're going to see a tornado, this will be the area to see it. Brief, isolated spin up. This is not a tornado warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. So again, the Weather Service seeing something enough down that way to let us know, hey, this is a possibility. Let's go back, Evan, to velocity real fast, see if we can get a better look at both of these cells, see if we can see anything that might tell us anything else there.
Sorry, I reset the other box.
That's okay.
It's now working better. So
okay, so we might switch back over that here in just a second.
Stick with the one we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there south of Somerset.
So I think your mic might be off or dead or something. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. So right here around Burnside, that is 1247, right? Or is that?
Yes.
Okay, 1247 down toward Burnside there. Little bit of possible rotation. It's really kind of hard to see. It's very broad too because this is an area where radar coverage is kind of murky out that way. New warning or new update?
No, just a special weather statement for our area. That'll be Elliott, Johnson, McGoffin, Martin, Menifee, Morgan, Powell, and Rowan. That storm is producing 50 mile per hour winds moving east at 55. So these are the only severe thunderstorms we have in place right now.
All right, so right there is the couplet we're kind of watching there for this storm. Let's go to the south just a little bit.
Well, I was going to put the little...
go ahead, that's fine. There you go.
That's kind of the broad rotation we're looking at. It's a little messy.
Right.
But that's the indication.
That's basically the end. It's not the end, but it's the edge of Jackson radar's coverage area. So that's why it's a little bit more muddy out there than it would normally be if it was a little closer to the radar side. So let's now go south just a little bit, see if we can see anything down there. I think that storm is basically close to right there, maybe.
So this is the Morristown radar.
Okay. Morristown radar, it looks like. We may have to switch Evans.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, that's closer to the Morristown radar, so we're looking at it from a slightly different angle.
Right.
And you can also kind of see
you can see this one up here just a little bit better,
really,
too.
That's a broad area.
Yeah,
just south
there and then there, too. Yeah, so there you go. So that's the two areas that we're concerned about with this storm. Just south of Somerset, he's drawing around the one that we're looking at in Wayne County. So if you're basically right here, south of Somerset, down toward Burnside, this would be the area if there was a tornado that it would be. And down here in Wayne County, well south of Monticello, kind of along the Tennessee border. Now, we were watching on Facebook a little earlier a tornado warned storm that was getting close to the border down there in Wayne County, that could be part of that storm that's moved across down to Wayne County. But again, these are going out into parts of McCreary County and eventually over into Laurel County there in the next few minutes with this storm. So again, this is something we're continuing to watch. But right there, those areas that are circled would be the best possibilities of seeing any type of rotation in the atmosphere.
And that is true, Brandon. I just want to point out, I'm looking at a second source. I got radar scope just off screen here, and I'm going to switch to the Morristown radar so we can get an accurate look at just how high up we're looking with these storms. So we've got that area of green next to blue there in the southeastern parts of Wayne County. And looking at it from the radar perspective, we're looking, and the radar is not straight out. It goes up. It tilts up as you go up in the atmosphere. So we're looking about 7,500 feet up. So we've got a hint that this storm has got at least some rotation to it in the mid and upper levels. Right. Whether that's reaching the ground, you know, probably not at this point. Right. We don't have a tornado warning in place, and we still are looking at that. There's the latest scan is going to come in here in just a second. But at this point, we don't see anything that would indicate to us that there is anything on the ground right now. I'm looking in the Weather Service chat. They have not issued anything else on these storms. But again, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, and I'll go back to reflectivity so you can kind of just see what we're looking at here. 2 warnings right now. One for Wayne, southern Pulaski, McCreary, southern Laurel, and most of northern Whitley County. And that one will run until 3:15. Just making sure I got my times right.
Yeah, both of these warnings that we're going to get ready to talk about go through 3:15.
Yes. This southern storm is moving to the east and northeast at 85 miles per hour.
So it's trucking. It's booking.
It is faster than highway speeds. I think troopers are on the tail of this storm. That's how fast it's going. Not literally. That was a... Right. Anyway. Cooperative. Within the next 7 minutes or so. Stearns, that's in McCreary County there, by 3:17. If it holds together, we're talking Williamsburg by 3:30, Yeadon 3:32, and towards Corbin and North Corbin by about 3:35, and then that continues off into portions of Knox and Clay counties if it holds together toward 4 o'clock.
Right. Now, we've been talking about all night. These were the areas that we were concerned about if we were going to have any potential very severe tornadic development. They were under the highest risk levels before they reset there with the new day 1 update. And this storm, very electrical. Both these storms, actually. You see all these little indicators there? Those are lightning bolts. So, again, very electrical. You're probably getting a pretty good little light show down that way this morning. And look there, number of strikes down in that southern storm at 26. Let's take a look at the northern storm there between Pulaski and over toward London there, Laurel County. I'm sure it's pretty similar there as well.
And notice how far away those lightning strikes are near downtown London. Yeah. That's why we say when thunder roars, go indoors.
Exactly. And if you can hear thunder, you need to be inside because the lightning is close enough to hit you if you can even hear thunder, even if you don't see it. So that's something you got to remember for that too. But again, severe thunderstorm warning. This is not a tornado warning, but there is a tornado possible tag on both of these severe thunderstorm warnings that go until 3:15, and that's basically from Pulaski County down to the border and over toward parts of Whitley County and Laurel County there on the outer edges of those. So again, put a track on the northern storm for me if you don't care, so we can kind of give London another heads up. It was just after 3 o'clock, a little bit earlier. I think we're getting closer to that now. It's coming in basically into eastern Pulaski County.
I appear to have, hold on, I got to reset here for a second. But we'll get there. I just remembered I was going based on speed and not on time. Okay. So I need to just switch that up. It's going to look a little, radar's going to look a little different here for a second, but we'll fix that here. We go. And we'll put a cone on it.
There you go. So London basically right now it's pretty close to you. So I'd say the next just few minutes while he's getting that track out there.
This was 55?
Yeah, that was moving
70.
a little bit slow.
No, that was 70.
So 70 on the northern storm and 85 on the southern storm. So London, you've got about a few minutes, about 20 minutes there. It's almost 3:08 right now. About 3:22, it's going to be in your backyard. Bush over there in eastern Laurel County at 3:33. Burning Springs in Clay County about 3:37. Oneida over in eastern Clay County. Big Creek about 2 minutes apart there, 3:46 and 3:48. Then And Moselle, that's over into parts of Leslie County, if it holds together, around about 4 o'clock, 3:57, Cutchin about 4:04. So again, this is the northern storm. The southern storm will pass through parts of Knox County, maybe even into Bell County as it goes through there. And again, Corbin, a major city that's in the track of these storms, London, the major city that's in the track of these storms, Williamsburg, anywhere along I-75, all the way into East Tennessee. But you can tell by the polygons, these are kind of moving to the northeast. So basically, if you're in Clay County, if you're in Laurel County, if you're in Whitley County, Knox County, even Bell County, maybe even northern sections of Bell County, Leslie County, even eventually Perry County, you're going to want to watch this one because this is something we've been tracking. And also, Evan, we have something else to talk about that just came out in the last few minutes, that tornado watch extension that goes until 7 o'clock in the morning. He's going to reset and kind of show you that one there, and we'll show you, hopefully it's been filled in a little bit. The box is in, but actually I think some of the counties have been filled
That's,
in.
I believe, the whole extent.
Okay, so this, does it not go all the way to Perry?
No, just Bell, Clay, Jackson, Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Owsley, Pulaski, Rockcastle, Wayne, and Whitley.
Yeah, so basically all the areas that have filled in are now under that tornado watch until 7 a.m. I know that warning, or that polygon still goes out toward Perry County, but they are not included at this point. They might be something that the Storm Prediction Center is looking at, but so far right now we know that these counties are in the tornado watch box until 7 a.m. Again, we're not expecting any tornadic activity. There you go. Thank you. That's a good one to put in there. Bell, Clay, Laurel, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley. About a little less than 200,000 people impacted by this watch. Goes until 7 a.m. here on this Saturday morning. So we're going to keep an eye on this. These storms are moving fast. As we go back to radar again.
Okay, Brandon, sorry to interrupt you. We now have a tornado warning. Okay. This is a tornado warning for parts of Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Wayne, and Whitley counties. This is near Cooperative or Whitley City, moving east at 80 miles per hour.
So take us back to radar and zoom us in there so we can get this for you. So right here is your tornado warning, and that's basically right here is kind of what we're looking at for that there. That's coming out of McCreary County into Whitley County. So tornado warning until what time?
This goes until 3:45.
All right, so we're now in the thick of it here, 3:45, and again, read those counties off to me one more time.
This is going to be for parts of Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Wayne, and Whitley counties.
Okay. So
this does not include London.
Right. That's south of London.
Does not yet include Barberville, but it's close.
Right.
This
Barberville's right here.
This does include Williamsburg. Williamsburg is in the polygon. For Wayne County, this does not include Monticello. This is the very far eastern part of Wayne County, and then into McCreary County as well.
So right here basically is the Wayne-McCreary line. So this is more into McCreary County. Let's go to velocity real fast and kind of see what's going on with this storm down that way, because
there it is.
Right there it is. So it's basically riding along the McCreary Wayne County line right there. You see where those blues and greens are mixing together. We have no confirmed reports that a tornado is on the ground, but if there is one, that right there is where it would be. Take us in a little bit closer, stay on velocity so we can maybe get some of the little towns down that way that this could impact. It's basically, there's Pine Knot over in McCreary County. Stearns is right there. Cooperative, you mentioned that one there. So if you're in those counties, you need to get in your safe spot right now. You need to get downstairs under something sturdy, in a basement if you have one, if you're in a mobile home. Try to get out as fast as you can. It's just one of those situations that you need to be in a safe spot ASAP, because if there is a tornado on the ground, it's going to be basically right here in this area coming up on Cooperative pretty quick. And eventually, if it stays on that same course, Whitley City, you'll be under the gun. Stearns, you'll be under the gun. Anywhere along US 27 there in the eastern parts of the county.
So what I'm going to do, Brandon, I just want to point out, this is moving so fast. This is moving east at 80 miles per hour.
Right.
Okay? So you don't have a lot of time.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and put a cone on here just so we know where exactly we're headed over the next 10 minutes or so. Yamacraw, within the next 3 minutes, essentially. Whitley City within the next 8, and over toward Beulah Heights by 3:21. That's that area that we're looking at for the potential for a tornado, and that's going to be just across the Wayne-McCreary County line in McCreary County, just south of Highway 92.
Okay, so basically you need to get to your tornado safe spot right now. Don't wait. This storm is moving fast. Whitley City, Yamacraw, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now because we do not have any confirmed reports of this on the ground. But that reflectivity signature, again, it's broad, but it's there. So again, this is an area where we might see a better chance of a tornado developing than we would see further into the mountains. So again, you need to be in your safe spots right now. It's just got minutes. I mean, it's 3:13 right now. You see on the track there, Whitley City, one of the most or one of the more populated cities there in McCreary County, than just the north of that Beulah Heights. If you're along 27 between Whitley City, back up toward Beulah Heights, I know Beulah Heights is not on 27, but if you're basically right there in that polygon between the northern parts of McCreary County, actually go back over here so I can point it out to you now that we're clearing that up. But right there is the area of rotation we're watching. If you're along this section of 27 in the polygon between parts of northern McCreary County all the way south there, Whitley City, Stearns in that polygon as well. But this area right here, you're going to be seeing that traveling right by Whitley City in the next little bit there. Very quick moving storm, 80 miles per hour.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for East Central Wayne County, Southeastern Laurel County, Western Knox County, Central McCreary County, Northern Whitley County until 3:45 a.m. At 3:09 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Cooperative or near Whitley City, moving east at 80 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Beulah Heights around 3:15 a.m. Cumberland Falls State Park around 3:20 a.m. Youngs Creek around 3:25 a.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Faber, Bertha Station, and Garrick. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 3:45 a.m. for the following county: Knox, Kentucky.
Whitley City, you need to be in your safe spot right now. Stearns, you need to be in your safe spot right now. Yamacraw, you need to be in your safe spot right now because this is traveling basically kind of east-northeast at about 80 miles per hour, so you don't have a whole lot of time to get into your safe spot there.
That's right. Just checking the Weather Service chat. We got nothing new out of that, but this is still moving to the east and the northeast at 80 miles per hour. So I'm going to put another track on this. As it moves further to the east. I'm not used to this panel tool here on this particular view, but now I'm going to back this up because I'm going to do this. If this holds together, now this is not likely to hold on for a long period of time,
right?
But if it does, here's where we've got the track here, and I'm going to pack this up. I got to back it up a little bit more because it's going to be moving at 80 miles per hour.
It's moving so fast, we've got to kind of push it out to give you a better indication of where it's heading next.
And there's that new scan. It just came down a little bit, which is good. But if this holds together over the next hour, this is an hour in advance. And again, we've already seen it cycle a little bit. But we're talking places like Stearns, basically within the next 2 minutes. So Stearns, you need to be in your safe place now. That's under something sturdy. A basement if you have one. If you don't, an interior room, lowest floor of the building. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Williamsburg, you've got about 25 minutes, or you got about a little less than 20 minutes. Corbin, a little more than 20 minutes. Barberville, you've got about a half hour. If this continues to move like it does, which is moving at 80 miles an hour, moving through the northern, the central parts of McCreary County, if it holds together, as this cone kind of holds together, we're talking places like Harlan by 4 o'clock. Now, does that mean Harlan's going to see a tornado at 4 o'clock? No, not necessarily, but it shows us the cone of uncertainty with this velocity couplet that we see there in McCreary County that's continuing to push to the east. So I'm going to clear that off and zoom back in on that as we head into portions of McCreary County. And the good news, at least it looks to me, Brandon, is that couplet has come down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So we're seeing a little bit less in the way of possible rotation there in the atmosphere. Right here is the area just north of Cooperative, just south of Highway 92. So if there is a tornado, that's where it will be. Another little bit of a couplet trying to show up right here, just north of 92 there. You see that one right there?
Yeah, there's actually, I was going to highlight
there's two more I see. So basically, I didn't even notice that one until you just pointed that one out. So yeah, so there's a couple different ones here. Also, might want to circle that one just to kind of give people an indication of where we're looking at this. So it's a very turbulent atmosphere right now. So we're going to continue to watch that. This is, of course, our main area of concern. But if you live anywhere around 92, get in your safe spot right now. 27 in McCreary County, Whitley City, Stearns. It's north of Pine Knot. The polygon is all the way up there. Again, close to the Pulaski County border. You need to be in your safe spot because this is racing off to. Okay.
See how fast that moved.
New scan there. It's already moved to right here. So it's basically crossed 92, coming up on 27. Whitley City in a safe spot right now because there is no confirmed reports of tornado on the ground, but this is the area it's moving right to, Whitley City, about right here. So you need to be in your safe spot right now. Anybody on 27 basically close to the Pulaski County line all the way into basically Stearns, get into your tornado safe spot right now. No confirmed reports right now of that. We're seeing some couplets trying to show up there. This is the area of main concern. We have a couple other severe thunderstorm warnings. They may have already expired to the north there. It was supposed to expire at 3:15, but this is the only active warning we have right now. So if this continues on its current path, it's going to go into Whitley County, Williamsburg, not included in this particular actually they are in this particular polygon. So we're going to continue to watch this. 75, if you know of anybody traveling 75 between Corbin and Williamsburg, maybe get them to pull off the interstate, get to somewhere safe right now, because this storm is racing to the north and east there at 80 miles per hour. Marsh's signing at 320, Youngs Creek 331, Williamsburg 333. So you have just a few minutes, about 13 minutes there right now, 320, and you'll see Faber and Julep over there, 336 and 337. So again, Marsh's sighting over still in McCreary County, and then once you get up toward Youngs Creek and Faber and all those communities, you're getting into parts of Whitley County with that one.
So, Brandon, I've got, and I'm going to pop it up here. This cone is based on speed. So you're looking at, this storm is moving at 80 miles an hour. Here's where it's going over the next 20 minutes. I'm going to take this off here, but like you were saying, Marsh's sighting now. Youngs Creek in the next 10 minutes. It's a very rural part of northern McCreary into western Whitley County. But I'm going to pop this off real quick, and I'm going to show the debris scope, or the correlation coefficient. What I'm showing you is essentially the radar can not only look at the speed and direction of things that it's bouncing off of, it can look at their size too. It's dual polarization. And what it's seeing is what you'd see here. The red, that's numbers near 1, which means everything's really the same. Numbers closer to 0, if we were to see some blue or some yellow, more yellow than we're seeing here, or green, that would indicate that something has touched down and that there is debris lofted. We are not seeing that here in northern McCreary County. So at this point, we don't see anything that has been, at least has been lofted. We don't have any confirmations of a tornado on the ground. We have gotten no reports at this time, but the tornado warning still runs for another 25 minutes or so into northern McCreary County and into Whitley County. And it also includes, I don't want to forget our folks here in parts of Laurel County. This is far southern Laurel County. This does not include London. This does not include East Bernstadt. This does not include anywhere south or anywhere north of Corbin. This is essentially Corbin and south in Laurel County. Western Knox County, basically west of 25E there. Doesn't include Girdler. Does not include Barberville. Does not include Barberville at this point, but it is heading in your direction. And I would go ahead and say the folks there in Wayne County, this storm has passed you. You're still technically under the warning, but the threat has passed you at this point, and that threat right now is the main threat there is north of Whitley City. You see that crossing 27 right now. And I'll highlight it there for you, and Brandon can do a better job there on the wall. This is going to go south of 104. Basically, between 104 and 700.
Yeah.
So 104 to the north and 700 to the south as you get off of 27 north of Whitley City.
So basically, if you're between Whitley City and Wilborg, you need to be in your safe spot right now, because we're watching this area right here, potential rotation. Right there, he's got it circled just north of Whitley City. And there's also maybe just a smidge down toward Whitley City and Stearns there. It's not great, but right here is the one we're most concerned about. It's traveling basically back off. It'll cross probably 104. It's crossing 27 here probably right now, actually, as fast as this storm is moving, going across 104. Honeybee, you need to be in your safe spot right now. 80-mile-per-hour storm forward movement, not winds, but I can tell you, even if there is not a tornado on the ground, I guarantee you're seeing strong winds with this system. So make sure that you're being safe. Now, tornado or not, straight line winds can do just as much, if not more damage than a tornado. Everybody talks about tornadoes the worst. Straight line winds can be just as bad. So again, we have no reports of a confirmed tornado, but it would basically be right here in this area coming up on the 104, and they actually just canceled the tornado warning for parts of Wayne County, but they
really just Wayne, yeah.
They extended it. Did they extend it? Is Barberville still not in the?
Barberville's still not in it. They would have to issue a new warning for that.
Yeah,
so
so
this
that's
is the same
Corbin,
polygon.
and it's actually just north of Williamsburg. They've pulled Williamsburg out of that polygon too. So Corbin, this could be moving towards you. Here's the reason that they kind of make these polygons so wide is some of these storms, especially the ones that move pretty fast, it's very uncertain on who will get what. So this is why these polygons are not just like real thin, but the Weather Service has a pretty good idea based on what they're seeing on radar and velocity of who might get the biggest impacts. If you know anybody, 25W back over Cumberland Falls Parkway, north of Williamsburg, south of Corbin, I-75, we see that this storm could impact you here in the next little bit. Corbin proper, Corbin and North Corbin in this polygon warning. So again, you need to be in your safe spot right now. You still got some time there. And then again, we were watching down here in McCreary County, the area of rotation. It's getting a little bit more broad there. And this area kind of far away from the radar at Jackson, so it's kind of hard to figure out exactly where that is going to be setting up there. But at least based on the last couple of scans, we see the rotation getting a little bit more broad. But regardless, it is still there around 104. It has crossed 27, and again, it's just basically moving kind of the northeast there at about 80 miles per hour. So if you are in communities west of what we're talking about right now, if you're in the western parts of Whitley County, tornado safe spot. You need to be there. You need to stay there until we give you the all clear at this point. Now, again, we're staying with velocity because we're trying to keep an eye on this system here. Goes until 3:45. So you can see, again, we're looking right here in the circle that Evan has drawn. That's the area. If there is a tornado, and we have no confirmed reports of the tornadoes on the ground, that's where it would be. That is now east of US 27, south of 104.
That's right, Brandon, and I'm just looking at this again. This storm is still moving at 80 miles per hour, so they didn't change that part of the warning. So I'm going to update the cone here as this pushes off to the east and northeast. I'm going to try to keep it with the polygon there. This would be over the next half hour. Should this circulation hold together, Youngs Creek, you got about 10 minutes. Wofford, about 13 minutes. Faber, about 15 minutes. Corbin area by about 3:43. Barberville, again, if it holds together, by about 3:50. So 25 minutes there. Girdler by 3:52. And Bush by 3:55. That's a half hour out. That's where that cone goes. And then eventually, it's not on the map here. It's not on the list, but Trosper there. That's over toward parts there. Oh. So we've got a little tighter circulation there.
Right there. I'm glad you circled that. So let's try to get a little closer so we can point out some of these roads here, and we might have to recircle that. But it continues to cycle. So we're continuing to see redevelopment there. So right here, 700. If you're along 700, basically between Marsh's Siding, up toward Honeybee, south of Beulah Heights now, south of 104. So right here, if there is a tornado, right here is where it's going to be, okay? Sandhill Church, I don't know if that's a road or not, but that might be the Sandhill Church where that's at. Highway 700, Indian Creek Church, some of these areas out there. This is in McCreary County. This is rural McCreary County, but it's basically just east of some of the most populated areas. There's Bear Wallow School, and then you got over here. Let me step this way so you can see behind me. Mid-Spring School over that way. I think these are probably roads. It's just not showing up the road names on the end of that. But again, these areas right there, you need to be in your tornado safe spots because this is the area right along Highway 700 that we're keeping a very close eye on. It's approaching the Whitley County line, so it's getting closer to the eastern parts of McCreary County. So again, we're past 27. We're south of 104. We're right along Highway 700 here. It's going to cross 700 if it hasn't already. But this is the area of most concern right now. New scan should give us an idea. It's tightening back up again. It was kind of cycling back, and now it's cycling forward again. So we're just going to continue to watch this. If this holds together, you see back over here, we're in Whitley County now. Cleo, you'll be in the path of this. Redbird will be in the path of this. So again, we're just kind of keeping an eye. More Cleo than Redbird, but anywhere inside this polygon has a chance of seeing this. But this is getting ready. Right here, I believe, is the McCreary-Whitley County line.
Yes.
So this will cross into Whitley County here, especially moving at 80 miles per hour, probably the next scan or two. So you folks in western, southern Whitley County need to be in your tornado safe spots.
And again, like we were talking about, radar is showing you snapshots in time. Between 2, 3, 4, and 5 minutes, and see, it's already
cycled back
down a little bit. So these radar scans are coming in as fast as they can, but this storm is moving 80 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So a lot can happen in the time between radar scans. So that's why we say the tornado spin-up threat is low, but it's never zero, and they can pop up so fast.
Right.
And drop a tornado and lift right back up.
And we know, not to interrupt you, Evan, we know you've been watching the coverage of those massive tornadoes out to the west in parts of Arkansas and Tennessee and other places like that, Mississippi, other sections of the country. That's not what we see here. 9 times out of 10. Now, we had a couple of long track ones there back in 2012. This is not 2012. Anything we get tonight or in the near future is going to be quick. They're going to be spin-ups. They may touch down fast, do a little bit of damage, and then lift back up. That's why we see those cycling there and between each scan. So we're watching that. It is now crossed 700. Cleo, 336, Walden, all these are in Whitley County now. 340, Corbin. Right now, you got 343 to get into your safe spot. But again, this storm is moving pretty fast, so you need to be there now. Don't wait. Get in your safe spot right now. Basement, downstairs, under something sturdy, lowest floor of your house. If you live in a trailer or mobile home, find somewhere to go. You don't have much time to do that, but just even if you have to go outside and lay down in a ditch, because that's the best case scenario if you don't have anywhere you can get to quickly, like a neighbor's house or something like that. This storm is moving fast, 80 miles per hour forward speed. No confirmed tornado on the ground, but you see there, we're tracking that velocity couplet. If it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be in that area just past basically 700, Highway 700, coming up on the Whitley County line. And I would say by the next scan that comes in, it'll be in Whitley County.
That's true, Brandon, and I'm just looking off screen here at the correlation coefficient. There's the next scan.
Right. We caught that one right there. So it's now into parts of southwestern Whitley County. What's the correlation coefficient trying to show?
Not much.
Okay.
That's the good news.
That's great news because that means it's not touched down, or at least it's not currently on the ground.
That's true, but I want to caution this as well. The correlation coefficient and that's basically telling us how the different shapes are of the particles in the atmosphere, how closely they resemble each other.
Right.
And in this case, they closely resemble each other, which means it's likely rain.
Right.
Maybe a little bit of small hail, but that would likely melt as it reaches the ground. But at the same time, okay, I'm looking at this from the Morristown radar further south. That is about 70, 80 miles away. And we're talking several thousand feet up. And sometimes when these spin-up tornadoes happen, they may not loft debris that high.
Right.
So I can't say for sure that we don't have something there, but, scientific method of elimination.
Right.
There's nothing that says to us, oh, we've had something.
Right.
But the indication is still there.
Exactly. And the Weather Service is confident enough in this to let this continue to go until 3:45. Run through the counties that this impacts once again for us.
So this is still in effect for, I'm going to back up, just kind of get them all in here. Northern Whitley, northern McCreary, but the storm is now pushed past you. So Whitley City, the threat has passed you with this particular storm. Far southern Laurel, this does not include London or East Bernstadt, basically only includes Corbin. The Corbin part of Laurel County.
And then I think
the rest of the city.
I think Bush showed up earlier. That's in Laurel County too.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's south of there, and then into western Knox County. So that does not include Barberville, but it's kind of headed in that direction if it holds together. So most of this is in Whitley County. There's the latest scan, and it's still pretty broad, which is good at this point, as that nears 25W and Interstate 75 there north of Williamsburg.
So if you know anybody that's traveling along, I know it's late night, we're 3:30 in the morning on a Saturday morning, but if you know anybody that is traveling between Corbin and Williamsburg on I-75, tell them to pull over. Tell them to get off the road. Tell them to find shelter because this is a serious situation. Back out toward 25W, Cumberland Falls Parkway. If you know anybody traveling that road, call them. Tell them to get off the road, find shelter. Cleo, 336, coming right at you. 337 rather for Walden, so that's pretty quick there. Again, this is moving at 80 miles per hour, so fast-moving storm Faber. Back out toward 339 if it holds together. We're talking about Gray over in Knox County at 345 and Swan Lake over there at 347. So again, Williamsburg not really being impacted. It's still south of Corbin based on this latest track and where we're seeing the velocity showing up on the scans. So thankfully more of a rural area, but we don't want to downplay the fact that people still live in these areas. So we want to make sure that you're staying safe, and it's kind of the middle of the night, actually early in the mornings, however you look at it. But regardless, hopefully you're awake and you're getting these warnings, and hopefully that you're taking heed and getting into your safe spots as fast as you can.
And not only that, Brandon, yeah, this is a fairly rural area of northern Whitley County, but this is a rather heavily traveled interstate. Even at this hour, there may not be as many cars on Interstate 75, but we still have people traveling. Right. Spring break, in and out right now. Some folks may be just getting off spring break. Some folks may be headed on spring break and may be traveling. And that's why Interstate 75 is our focus right now, north of Williamsburg. So Williamsburg, Redbird. This is going to go north of you, and it's tightened up a little bit again.
It's recycled there again. So just south of Youngs Creek right there in Whitley County, and we'll go a little bit closer. So again, we're continuing to see this cycle up and down. So back into the upcycled mode there. So just south of Youngs Creek, approaching the Cumberland Falls Parkway. That's 25W. It loops back up around, goes back toward the backside of Corbin there, but we're not there yet. So we're looking again at he's drawing the arrows on there, what the radar is seeing. This is the Morristown radar, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's showing that velocity showing up there. Switch to Jackson real quick since we're getting a little bit closer to see if we can get any better look. Okay, so the Jackson radar actually
I don't think it did that. I think that was a scan.
Okay, so the scan updated. Okay.
So this is Jackson, and Jackson's we're farther away, so we're seeing a lot of wind turbulence.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go back to Morristown, and right here, now we'll take those arrows out. There we go, and recircle right here. So this is basically...
Nope, that's the wrong tool.
We're basically crossing, it's 1193 up there, getting close to that there on the southern end as it dumps out.
Yeah, it's where 1193 meets the Cumberland Gap Parkway there.
So right there is the area that we're watching very closely. Walden, along just kind of the west of I-75, safe spot right now. It's coming towards you real quick. 75, if you're in that section of 75 between 25W on both ends there where it circles back around. So basically between the northern end of I-75 at the Cumberland Gap Parkway and the southern end, which is just north of Williamsburg. I believe there's an exit for that down there, Cumberland Falls exit if I'm right. Again, if you're between those areas, you need to get to a safe spot right now. If you know anybody traveling between Corbin and Williamsburg on I-75, get them off the road, get them into a safe spot right now because this tornado warning is still a potential there, especially out here. It's basically to the east of Youngs Creek, and we're going to continue to watch that travel in that direction. Did they just update that?
Yeah, they're updating the polygon here. Okay. Still goes till 345. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Bertha Station, 7 miles northwest of Barberville, moving east at 80 miles an hour. So this warning continues. They've taken McCreary County out of it. So the McCreary County folks, you're out of this.
Read that again because I want to make sure you got the city right.
Bertha Station.
Right, but you mentioned Barberville.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
That's not correct. I think that's
Barberville is not in the polygon. So
that is correct.
We want to make sure that unless there's another Barberville in Whitley County. So this is in Whitley County, okay? Quickly approaching 75. Let's zoom in right here close and see if we can see some more of those smaller communities because we want to highlight those as best as we can. So there's Walden. There's Faber off in the distance. We don't have a whole lot out here right now. Here's Youngs Creek back here. So again,
trying to get it there. We're in so much that the terrain of the surface of the map
very
is
very rural parts of Whitley County. This is in northern Whitley County. It's north of Williamsburg, south of Corbin. But the main concern here, as Evan said earlier, 75. If you know anybody traveling 75 between the South Corbin exit there on the Cumberland Falls Parkway.
Hang on. There we go.
Okay. So this is actually updated just again, looks like.
Yeah, that should be Morristown.
Okay, so it's basically, it looks like the area of concern now is getting ready to cross Cumberland Falls Parkway right here. It's just still just south of it, but you can kind of see there where the reds and greens are, and he's going to put a track on it to kind of give us an idea. Now, Barberville, I'm not going to put you completely out of this just yet, but if it continues to track this way, I think it's going to miss most of the populated areas. Again, the key word in that sentence is think, because it could still shift a little bit. 80-mile-per-hour track, so Faber, you've got just a couple minutes to get into your safe spot if you're not there already. Gray over into Knox County, you got about 6 minutes, about 8 minutes to get in your safe spot. 346, 348 Emmanuel, Tuttle at 350, Cannon at 351, and Girdler at 352. So again, this is basically in that cone of where this is supposed to, or could go there. But right now, Faber and I-75 are main areas of concern as this continues to stay just south of the Cumberland Falls Parkway.
That's right, Brandon. I got some folks I've got on Facebook here, folks asking about Jackson and Hazard.
If we're not talking about you right now, you're not in danger. Okay, that's what I'm going to say about it. If we're not talking about your area, you're not under a warning. Strong winds are still possible. We're focused on Whitley County right now. This is the way it has to be. I know you are concerned about your areas. Storms are still coming. Okay, storms are still coming, but this is the area of most concern right now. So this is why we're staying down here. When we get ready, if this tornado warning it does expire.
There's some thunder here
in Hazard. If it does expire at 3:45, or they don't move it, or when they moved it, did they change the end time, or did they keep
no,
it at 3:45?
that just stayed put. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got another about a little less than 6 minutes on that. If they do allow this to expire, before we go off the air, we'll take a wide look, kind of give you a broad perspective of all the areas. But right here is the area of most concern. Here's the thing: if that holds together, I would not be surprised to extend this tornado warning a little further.
That's true, and they've given us no indication yet that that's on the way. This has been cycling, so it's cycled down a little bit. It's a little broad, but the rotation's there as it's getting ready to cross the interstate south of Corbin.
So basically, zoom in right here as close as you can to 75, because I want to try to see if we can, I know it's not going to show exits, but here is the South Corbin exit right here, okay? There's 5th Street coming back down toward South Corbin. So this is the area where the arena is. Crossing 75 right now, the broad rotation. So if you're near the Corbin Arena and south, back down 26 there toward Faber, 75 basically going down just southwest of Faber there. Not quite to the North Williamsburg Cumberland Falls exit, but right here is basically the Corbin exit going on to the Cumberland Falls Parkway. So if you're in basically the southern parts of Corbin, far south parts of Corbin, northern Whitley County, you need to be in your safe spot right now. This is going to continue. It will cross 26 in the next few minutes there, probably with the next scan, but it is crossing I-75 right now. We're going to continue to watch that. Now, I do believe it could clip parts of Corbin to the south if it stays on this current track. So again, this is something we're going to have to watch. This is basically Metro Corbin right here. But again, it could clip parts of South Corbin there, especially if you're toward the Knox County side there on 25E. Of course, this is something we're watching. This is about to cross into Knox County, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're right there. This is basically the Knox-Whitley County line. So this is getting ready to cross into Knox County there. And again, it's crossing 75 at the moment near the Corbin Arena, just south of the Corbin Arena exit there in South Corbin. But again, 26 is coming up on you. So if you live around or along Highway 26, basically south of the interstate, going down near the Knox-Whitley County line, get into your safe spot right now.
And again, I want to point out, I'm looking at the potential debris signatures off screen. There is nothing that would tell me that we've had a touchdown at this point.
Exactly. And that's great news, because storms like this in the middle of the night always make people more nervous, and we understand that. That's why we're trying to do our best to kind of give you the best information we have at the time. So again, this is the area of concern. We do not have any confirmed reports of touchdown. Great news, especially. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen. it could have happened between scans really quickly and then lifted back up. So if you have damage, if you're seeing damage, please try to get those reports into us and the Weather Service as soon as possible, okay? So, all right, new scan just come in. It's getting a little bit more broad, still there, but it's coming across Highway 26 at this point, it looks like.
That's right. So I'm going to put a track on this again. And, folks, this is moving east at 80 miles per hour, okay? This is faster than highway speeds, as a matter of fact, legal highway speeds in any case. Out 20 miles, this is about 15 minutes of motion. Gray by within about 4 minutes or so. Emmanuel within the next 6 minutes. Cannon 352. Girdler by 353. Sproul by 355. And Woolham, if it holds together there, that's as you push toward Knox County, or into Clay County, excuse me, I believe. Just looking at the lines on the map
pretty
there.
Close, yeah. It's probably going from the Knox-Clay County line right there on 11, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there. And that's within the next 20 minutes.
If it holds together.
And that's a big if.
Right.
Because this storm is moving into an area that is not as favorable for severe thunderstorm development at this point. And we'll see what happens with the warning here. They may decide to go with a tornado possible tag, as that is on top of 26 right now, about to cross out of Whitley County. They may go back to a severe thunderstorm warning scenario for this, or even just a special weather statement if we don't see anything that may lead them to continue this warning. And it's all of these storms are moving very, very fast,
right?
80 miles per hour.
So I think for the most part, based on these scans here, I think Corbin proper will avoid this storm. Okay?
Yeah, I think that's going south of downtown there.
You still need to be in your safe spot until we give you the all clear, okay? But again, I think most of Corbin will miss this storm. Okay, new scan, so it's crossed over in Knox County. It's across the Knox County line there. What is this road right here?
Let me see if I can pop that. I'll zoom in here. That is going to be 3041.
All right, so 3041 here, south of Moore Hill. There's First United Methodist Church over there in the southern parts of Corbin. So it's crossed Interstate 75. It's crossed Highway 26. Just south there, the area of most intense rotation. This is cycling. I don't think that they'll let this warning completely go. I believe Evan's right. They may switch it back over to a severe thunderstorm with a tornado possible tag. Still Morristown's radar?
Yes. And the look here, I can switch to Jackson's radar. The warning polygon has gone away.
Okay.
Because the warning, we hit 345 and the warning's allowed to expire, but there's still
just a little bit there.
And this is looking a little bit closer of a look here, so it wouldn't shock me that scan's a little different, that we may be seeing still a little bit of rotation there.
Kind of right here is the area that we're still watching.
Yes,
right
they're in western parts of Knox County.
So this is not Barberville proper. This is kind of a more rural area. Barberville's down here.
And there's a new tornado warning.
I had a feeling they were going to either recycle that. So I'm going to back out. You give us the new one. It looks like parts of Knox and Clay County.
Yes, that's going to be for Knox County. Barberville is just on the line there. Looking at this, I'd say it's going north of downtown Barberville at this point. It's got far southern Laurel County. If you're in other parts of Laurel County and you're hearing sirens, if you're in London, or if you're in Bush, if you're up toward East Bernstadt, this is not for you, okay? This is not headed toward London. This particular severe thunderstorm, this particular tornado warning is not headed toward you. This is headed toward Girdler. This is northern Knox County. They're in play here, and southern parts of Clay County. Okay, and this warning runs until 4:15, so we've got another half hour with this.
Yeah.
South of Manchester, this warning does not include downtown Manchester. Big Creek is right on the edge.
Yeah, right here, and then Asher's Fork is included in the polygon. That's kind of where it stops. Right now, it stops at the Leslie County line. So we're going to continue to watch this until about, what did you say, 4:15?
4:15. Okay. And now this is going to run northeast at 70 miles per hour. Yeah. So I'm going to put a track on that. Yeah. I've got to switch the...
So it's slowed down just a little bit. It was moving at 80 miles per hour until this latest update. So we're down to 70 miles per hour forward speed right now. So he's putting a new track on it so we can kind of give you the approximate location.
Take it out 30 minutes.
Okay, so in the next 30 minutes, we're talking about Rosslyn. That's still in parts of Knox County there at 350, Girdler 356, Woolham, which I believe is on the Knox-Clay line at 359, Scalf over into the other part there of northeastern Knox County at 403, Goose Rock, that is deep into Clay County there, southern Clay County at 407, Asher's Fork, we highlighted that earlier. You've got about a little less than 20 minutes to get in your safe spot there if you're not in already. Big Creek by about 414, and then Spring Creek at 412, Essie at 416. So we're getting basically going into parts of northern Knox County through parts of southern Clay County with this one. Let's go back here to kind of where we're seeing the potential for rotation here, still south of Corbin. Now, I will mention this. If you're not, even if you're hearing sirens, like he said, just
now that's the Morristown radar.
Okay, so Morristown, it's still,
we're right on the edge there.
Okay, right here, I think is what we need to focus in on.
I'm going to turn Morristown off.
Yeah, so this is basically crossing Highway 6 there in Knox County. Arkell just southwest of you, just southwest of Gray. He's circling the area we're concerned about. Still no confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, so we're going to continue to watch that. So Arkell, you need to be in your safe spot right now. This is moving to the north and east to the northeast, about 70 miles per hour. So again, if you're along just around Highway 6, kind of south of Corbin there in Knox County, it's right there just across the Knox County line. You need to be in a safe spot now. And if you live basically up toward 25E, 25E is our next major road that this will probably cross if it stays on this same path. You need to go ahead and get in your safe spot between Gray and basically, let's see here, Girdler potentially. Back out that way?
Yeah, all the way up there over the next 15, 20 minutes out toward Girdler.
I think Girdler goes up Highway 11 too, so
yes,
that takes you toward Clay County. So if you're on 25E between Gray and let's say Hydrick, basically down here. Now we know it's not going to get that far south because that's just north of Barberville. So Emmanuel, between Gray and Emmanuel, let's put it that way. If you're between those areas, close to or around 25E, get in a safe spot right now because the potential for the tornado is coming towards you as we speak. So we're going to continue to watch this as we head deeper into it. This is eventually going to cross. Is that 229? A little bit.
Yes,
road?
229
okay.
There, east, northeast of Emmanuel.
Okay, so basically these are the areas. 25E first. It's crossing 6 right now. It'll be crossing, if it stays on this same course, eventually 239 there, we're going to continue to watch, 229 rather, we're going to continue to watch this. But right here is the area that we're kind of concerned about right now. It's showing the areas that we could see rotation in the atmosphere. No confirmed touchdown of a tornado. This is Knox County. It has crossed the border here, and you see where the greens...
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Laurel County, northern Knox County, southern Clay County until 4:15 a.m. At 3:45 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Bertha Station, 7 miles northwest of Barberville, moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Jarvis around 3:50 a.m. Found around 3:55 a.m. Ogle around 4 a.m. Plank around 4:05 a.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Creekville. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 4:15 a.m. for the following counties in Kentucky, Clay, and Knox.
Corbin, even parts of maybe London, maybe seeing those tornado sirens going off. This is just a very southern sliver of Laurel County, even south of Bush. So again, you're not in danger there right now, but this area in Knox County is. There is a tornado watch out until 7 a.m. for many counties right there along that line. We're going to continue to watch that. I think that goes all the way basically through the Cumberland Valley. I believe Knox County is included in that tornado watch. So we're going to be dealing with this for a little while longer. We hope we don't have to do too much more coverage here on the air and on Facebook in the overnight hours. But if we do, we do. We'll be right with you till it's all over here. But again, as Kevin said, the next scan will probably put it pretty close to Arkell, which is right there. He's got the little dot there kind of showing you where that's at. This will eventually cross 25E between Gray and, again, Emmanuel, I think, is a little south of 25E, but if you're living between those two communities there, it's going to cross 25E, and then it's eventually, if it stays on that same course, 229 there north of Barberville going back up. I believe that's the road that also can get you into Bell County if you go far enough on it. But again, that's going to take you back up into Clay County a little bit as well.
There's the next scan. It's much broader now, which is very good news.
Yeah, so that's broadened out quite a bit. It's more so, it's actually kind of went a little bit south of Arkell, it looks like, kind of right here. Where the greens and the blues are kind of mixing.
So again, that is very broad rotation, right? It's basically this whole area.
Right.
But the good news is, while we're seeing some rotation, we're not seeing a pinpoint of, oh, this looks like it's potentially developing at this point.
So the good news is it's cycled back a little bit, but here's the thing. We have been watching this scan by scan. It can cycle up again. It can cycle back. It may do either one. So again, you need to be staying on your guard right now. You need to be in your safe spots. Continue to be there, especially if you are along anywhere in this circle. That's 25E. That's just north of 6 right now, so that's no big issue down that way. Still, I think there's probably still some good rain and some stronger winds, but all the way up to 229, and this basically takes you right there is the very southern sliver of Laurel County. So if your tornado sirens are going off in London, you're not in danger. This is the tornado warning is very much farther south than you. Girdler, kind of a more populated community over there in Knox County. I've driven that road, traveled 11 many times. You've got the elementary school over there. You've actually got a couple different elementary schools out there near Girdler. I believe Lay's out there. I believe Girdler Elementary's out that way. So there's a couple of different elementary schools over that way. If you live along 11, traveling that way between Manchester and Barberville, that's some of the areas are going to be impacted. But the good news is, at least with this scan, the rotation is a little bit more broad.
Now, the rotation is broad, yes, Brandon. And I also do want to point out that you can really see the leading edge of the heavy wind. Even if it's not spinning, you still have the potential to see gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour, even if you're not under the tornado warning. So that's going to continue to push to the east over the next little bit. This storm, last check, was moving at 70 miles per hour. So some of that is going to get translated down to the ground.
Right.
We don't have a ton of fuel for storms, right? So it's 4 in the morning. We're well past sunset. Sunset was 8 hours ago.
Right.
But we have just a little bit of that moisture moving in, and this is a storm system that is tremendous, has tremendous wind energy, shear that we call it, the difference in wind speed and direction with height. And so some of that, especially when you're dealing with a line like this, is going to make its way down to the ground. And that's where we have the issue with damaging winds. The good news, we have had no reports of damage, no reports of any tornado touchdowns. We have not seen any evidence behind the scenes on radar that would indicate to us that we had any debris lofted into the air. That is good news. But at the same time, I caution you, these spin-ups typically don't last very long and may not throw debris up into the air like you see with the larger tornadoes. And this would not be a large tornado. This would be a very short-lived spin-up. That's why we call them spin-ups. These are not like what we saw in parts of Arkansas and Tennessee and Iowa and Illinois today. Those were supercell thunderstorms. Those are the bad thunderstorms. Not that all thunderstorms are bad or good, but what we're dealing with here is a much different type of tornado. It's a quick, along the first edge of the line, spin up. They may drop for a couple of minutes, lift right back up.
Exactly. Now, again, I know a lot of folks, especially those maybe watching on TV, but especially on Facebook, are asking, what about the rest of the area? This is the only warning we have active right now. It is a tornado warning, but it's the only warning we have active. So while you may be seeing heavy rain, strong wind in your area, again, we are just continuing to watch. This squall line, it's kind of started to kind of fall apart just a little bit, but it's stretching from basically West Virginia all the way down almost to the Tennessee border, okay? So this is going to be moving through, it's moving rapidly, 70 miles per hour on the warn storm. I'm sure most of this line is moving just as fast. So if you're back out toward London and Somerset, McKee, Stanton, Irvin, over in Estill County, Boonville, most of the worst of the actual storms are past you. But here's the thing. You still got to go through it in the eastern counties, Big Sandy, Kentucky River, down into parts of the Cumberland Valley, still going through parts of the I-75 corridor, going down toward Tennessee, and the threat doesn't end there. The winds will continue to crank all the way through at least 8 o'clock Saturday night. So we have a lot of time to go, more than 12 hours before we see those winds start to die down. And you can still see damage from 45, 50, 60 mile an hour gusts. And again, ground very saturated. It will not take much to push trees down. It will not take much to knock down power lines, especially if the poles are a little bit saturated there or knocking trees onto those power lines. I guarantee you, once we check those outage numbers, we have not had a chance to do that just yet. We will, and we'll get those up for you online as soon as we can. We'll let this tornado warning go here first. Got about a little more, about half an hour or 15 minutes more.
About 17,
About
yes.
17 minutes before that expires. But again, we'll take you right back to that here in just a second. We just wanted to give you a quick, broad view here as we approach the top of the hour. These storms are going to be exiting by later this morning, but the wind threat will continue all day long. Pop up the tornado watch box just for a second there, Evan, if you can. That way we can show you what areas are still included in that until 7 o'clock. There's our warning, polygon. But again, parts of Clay County, Knox County, Bell County, and Lee County west till 7 o'clock this morning is still included in that tornado watch. But I would say at this point, most of those counties are out of the danger criteria at this point, especially west of I-75. I'd say we'll see those start to drop off here pretty soon because most of the worst of the storms are past them. And they may all expire here before 7 o'clock. But again, those are the areas that are still under the gun for right now, especially down there in parts of Knox County. And we'll take you right back there now. So again, heavy rain in Barberville this morning, heavy rain in Girdler, but the area of concern as we go back to velocity is going to be, and it's getting more broad as we speak, actually. So again, kind of just south of Girdler. That's how fast this storm has moved. Am I right? Kind of right here.
It's moving extremely. 70 miles an hour.
It's crossed 11 already. So just in that little short time we took to take you out to the wide view to show you what's going on everywhere else. As Evan said, you can kind of see the boundary there where the strong winds are coming down, and that's our main concern. While we knew there was a threat for a tornado, it was a very low-end threat. We even didn't expect the tornado watch, and I don't think it's going to turn out to be anything. Of course, stay on alert because, of course, it could have been a brief spin-up. Still haven't had any damage reports, but it's also the middle of the night, early in the morning, so a lot of people are probably not up to report right now. But if you have reports, if you're up watching this on Facebook, on TV, make sure you get those reports to the Weather Service and to us so we can kind of coordinate and see if the Weather Service needs to send any teams out, if we need to, because you are our eyes and ears out there in the field, and those reports help us out tremendously. I know they help the Weather Service out as well.
And Brandon, we have just crossed the 4 o'clock hour, so in the interest of federal regulations, you're watching WYMT TV in Hazard, Kentucky. We are continuing to follow a tornado warning in effect for portions of Knox and Clay counties at this point. It also includes very small part of Laurel County, but I'd say Laurel County, your threat is over with this one. The Weather Service has just not paired you out of the warning yet. But this, we're not looking at necessarily a ton of rotation, but we are looking at the potential for winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, in addition to the threat of a possible spin-up tornado. And Brandon, I would say the best threat for that right now is going to be right along the Knox-Clay County line, headed toward Asher's Fork over the next few minutes. And this storm is moving rapidly to the east at 70 miles per hour. This continues to push to the east at 70 miles per hour. This tornado warning runs for another 14 minutes or 13 and a half minutes, really, until 4:15 this morning. And this continues to push to the east at 70 miles per hour.
So it's moving fast. Now, here's the thing. Even after the storms exit the region, since we're not really seeing anything of velocity, let's go back to reflectivity for just a minute. We'll come back if we need to, or if we get any reports coming in. But you see, I can tell you right now, just by looking at reflectivity, anywhere along this squall line where it's bowing out, that is definitely strong winds, okay? That is super strong winds. And even after these storms pass through the rest of the region, some rain here, very electrical. We're seeing those lightning strikes there across parts of the area. But again, and Evan's putting a track on this to kind of show you where it's going to be basically the next 35 minutes. So everybody's going to be impacted, at least in those southern counties. Everybody's going to be impacted by strong storms in the Overland Park. Viper, they're both all in Perry County here, 410 and 414. Cutchin over in Leslie County, that's at 417. South Wallens, we're getting into Harlan County now. That's basically at 420, 423 in Harlan. Now, again, we're not telling you they're going to be severe. That's when the storms are expected to reach you, and it may be just a little bit off by a minute or two. Pine Mountain over there, Leslie, Harlan County line there, that section of Pine Mountain at 426, and then we take you all the way back toward Floyd County, Wheelwright, around 430. So this is going to be an issue for us for several more hours here, at least through probably 5 or 6 o'clock this morning. And then these storms are moving so fast, they're going to clear out, but the threat is not over. Pull up for me the wind alerts, because these go until 8 o'clock Saturday night. These are more than basically almost 16 hours left, just a little bit less than 16 hours if they go to completion. So we're going to see, again, 30, 40, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts still potential there. He's getting it pulled up for us there.
It's going to take me a second
We'll
here.
just buy you a couple of seconds there. But again, these storms are going to continue to move quickly out of the region, moving 60, 70, maybe even faster miles per hour at times. And again, we've got that tornado warning going for a few more minutes down there, but we're not seeing as much rotation. It's tightening up, or not tightening up. It's getting more broad than it was. Now, here's the map that we want to talk about. The wind advisory continues for most of the region, even central Kentucky, until 8 o'clock tonight. We're talking about areas that are in the wind advisory, just the wind advisory, gusts 45 to 50 miles per hour. So this is, once these storms clear out, it's not over. We still have this front to pass through, that low going off to the north. We're going to continue to watch both those things to create these strong winds. And then the counties that are under the high wind warning, that darker color, kind of brighter color there, however you want to look at it. But again, that doesn't kick in until 8 o'clock this morning. Those counties are still under a wind advisory until 8 o'clock. Now, the high wind warning will kick in at 8 a.m. and go through Saturday night at 8 p.m. So all of this goes until 8 p.m. Saturday night. And with the high wind warning, you could see gusts of up to 50, 60 miles per hour outside of storms. This is what we've been talking about for a couple of days here with our first alert weather day coverage that we started actually let's see, Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock. The wind was going to be the big impact from this one, and even after the storms are gone, the threat level is not over just yet. Wide view on radar. We'll recap that real quick just to kind of give it a couple minutes to see how far out this is going to go with that tornado warning. But again, this line, look back out here. Lexington's already clearing out. Danville, Columbia, even back out into parts of western Lake Cumberland starting to clear out. The storms are racing across the eastern parts of the area. Hazard, we're getting ready to get a pretty good little storm here in the next few minutes. Hayden, you're getting ready to get a pretty good little storm here in the next few minutes. Hayden about right here, I believe. Again, and then you see Harlan getting ready to get this line in another 30 minutes or so. It's past Manchester, the line is anyway, still some rain out there. It's past Burning Springs, Oneida, 421 back up toward McKee. Again, going back over, scoot me a little bit further to the east there, just a little bit. We'll kind of go a little further, that way we can kind of show other places. So Knott County, Hindman, you'll be getting some of this. Letcher County will be getting some of this. Harlan County will be getting some of this in the next little bit. But this is basically our squall line. This is what's left of it there. So Jackson, you're kind of not out of it, but you're kind of south of this. So zoom out just a hair, Evan, so we can kind of get a good picture right here. So basically from just north of Buckhorn all the way back down toward basically Barberville, that's the height of the storm. So we're kind of seeing this across a couple of different counties. Not going to say you're not going to see strong winds, but these are the areas that you could see the strongest winds in the next little bit.
And Brandon, I just thought I'd go ahead and let you know they have continued the tornado warning for another 9 minutes or so.
Okay.
We've taken, let me put the polygon back on the screen. Laurel County remains in this. Laurel County, you are not in the big threat for this, but I'm looking north of Asher's Fork.
Right there looks a little bit of concern. So we're getting closer to Jackson's radar. So Spring Creek, this is 66, going down through like Redbird, Oneida, over that way, Big Creek. Starts basically at Big Creek, comes down riding along the Leslie-Clay County line there. So that's an area we're kind of watching just south of Markham. just around the Spring Creek area. It's kind of moving in this general direction, so it will cross 66 here before too long. So if you live between Markham and Spring Creek there on 66, probably not a bad idea to get in your safe spot. Still very broad at this point, but again, there's going to be some strong winds regardless if there is a brief tornado touchdown or not. But again, we're keeping an eye on a couple areas. Right here is one, right there is one, and he's tracking it out for you to kind of see where this is heading. I can already see Stinnett over in Leslie County will be in this here. This is the next, what, 15, 20 minutes?
About 13.
Okay, so basically Spring Creek, right now you need to be in your safe spot. Essie, that's a little over here closer to the Leslie, Clay County lines. That's actually in Leslie County, I do believe. Asher at 416, Stinnett, mentioned that one there, at 417, and Wendover over there. I believe that is where the former nursing school used to be over there, the Mary Breckenridge one. But again, they're still, again, seeing those until about 419. This is just over the next few minutes, but this gives you an idea of who could see these storms and when. But that tornado warning is going to go for another about 8 minutes or so. Not even that, probably 7 minutes. Yeah, till 4:15.
4:15, which is 7 minutes. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, so there you go. So this is basically where it's going to be in the next few minutes. So again, watching these areas back here for a little bit. What do you got?
And we have a new tornado warning. This continues.
All right.
Now until 4:45. So we're in this for a little while longer.
We're
this
not
is
going
for
anywhere.
Parts of Clay, Leslie, Letcher, and Perry counties. You see the new polygon popping on the screen. Let's go ahead and summarize this. Eastern parts of Clay County, most of central Leslie County. Now, this is south of downtown Hyden.
Yeah.
Downtown Hyden, you are not in this warning. This takes in the southern part of Perry County. As a matter of fact, it looks like my house is in this tornado warning, Brandon.
I don't think Hazard is, though, because
Hazard is not.
Yeah, Hazard's up there. Hyden, Hazard, bigger population areas, not. But still, a lot of folks right here, before you go too far east, here's 421 between Hyden and Harlan. The polygon goes basically south of Hyden, but through the Moselle community over there. Stinnett included this new tornado warning. The Cutchin community over there along, what is that road? I believe that's 221. I zoomed in there, double check.
Well, I can put the shield on there. That is 699.
699. So yeah, so that's basically right there on the Leslie Perry County line. I know 221's over that way somewhere. But again, you'll see 699 impacted by that, and then coming back over through Perry County, this is going to include Highway 15 south of Viper there, going back over toward looks like is part of Letcher County in this too?
Yes, Letcher County, west of Whitesburg.
Blackie on 7. Does it include Whitesburg?
No.
No, it's just to the east of Whitesburg, or to the west, rather, of Whitesburg this morning, just to the north of Cumberland there in Harlan County. But this goes until 4:45. But again, communities that are a little bit more rural but still have some people living there, definitely included in this.
Brandon, I just want to give a quick heads up to the folks that are maybe watching us over the air. If they are watching us on even YouTube TV or anything, the emergency alert system will shortly go off on WYMT. The Facebook coverage is uninterrupted.
Right.
The actual just the way it's routed, that will not go over Facebook. So if you hear the electronic voice come on, the beeps go off, that's going to be, you're going to want to check out the Facebook, where we're streaming live on Facebook.
Right.
But I just wanted to let people know that as this potential for a spin-up tornado moves to the east. This is just north of Asher's Fork, and I also do want to point out, it appears that we're having a little bit of radar latency. Okay, where the scans are coming in not as quickly as we'd like them to.
Plus, I noticed.
I'm going to switch this to Morristown.
Yeah, try that. Okay, so basically right in here is, so that gives us a little bit better picture. So basically Essie, just north of you right now. So what we're looking at, there's one right here, is potentially one there. So again, we're kind of anywhere where the reds and greens mix. Stinnett, you're kind of in the area just south of Hyden along 421 Wendover over that way, where the Mary Breckenridge Nursing School used to be. Again, all of that, we're going to continue to watch that all the way down 421 toward Moselle, but right there's the two areas he's got circled is the areas of most concern at the moment. Now, we're showing you the Morristown radar because, as he said, the Jackson radar having a little bit of issues locking in there with some latency issues, getting the data a little bit slower from them, but that's the area we're kind of watching. Now, no confirmed touchdowns. I want to be clear about that. We've had no confirmed touchdowns. We've been tracking this since basically Wayne County. this system. So again, no confirmed touchdowns. It's basically late in the morning, late in the night, early in the morning, however you want to look at it. But we're going to continue to watch this here for a little while longer. A little bit of a light flicker here. Do you have some cameras over there you want to?
Yeah, I was looking at, Josh, if you're still in the control room, if you can pull up Max 1. We've been using our backup system, so Max 1, if you can pull that up, please, there, Josh.
Okay.
That is the view from our transmitter.
So he.
Here's talking about the Buffalo Mountain.
Yeah. So Evans mic cut off when he switched, so I'll step in there for him. So this is Buffalo Mountain, where our transmitter is located here in Perry County. I think Evans' mic is back on. We're still in the 60s here in Perry County. So again, we're kind of getting below that threshold. The rain is working through here. I don't think we'll see this tornado warning go anymore after this. I'm not going to say that for sure because, again, lightning flashing in the sky there. So a very electrical storm as it moves through parts of Perry County. This is an advance of the line. This main part of the storm is still going through parts of Leslie County this morning. So let's switch back over to the other MAX system there. Another lightning flash there. So just be aware of that as you go through time this morning, that these storms will be very electric.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for southwestern Letcher County, central Leslie County, southeastern Perry County, east central Clay County, until 4:45 a.m. At 4:07 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Essie, or 9 miles southwest of Hyden, moving east at 70 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Causey around 4:15 a.m. Yetis around 4:20 a.m. Slept around 4:25 a.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Holly and Letcher. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 4:45 a.m. for the following counties in Kentucky: Clay, Leslie, Letcher, and Perry.
Again, this is the type of scenario that we're looking at here, in that I can't tell you that there is a tornado on the ground. Right. I can't tell you that your house is going to get hit by a tornado. At this point, I don't see anything that looks to me like we've had a touchdown. But any one of these little spots can quickly spin up and drop a tornado. And if it drops on your house, we got problems.
Exactly.
We haven't heard of any of that yet, but I can't rule it out as we head. And this is moving to the east at 70 miles per hour. So I'm going to put a track on this real quick as this pushes off to the east. It's basically on top of Asher right now, along 421 there, south of Hyden in Leslie County.
Okay, the new scan, while you're putting the track on it, just crossed 421. So right there, again, Asher, south of Stinnett there, north of Moselle, you need to be in your safe spot. Downstairs, basement, under something sturdy, lowest level, put as much between you and the outside as possible. And if this storm holds together, and some of these areas are in that polygon, the tornado warning polygon, until 4:45, it'll be in Daisy, which is basically right there on, I think that's in the Perry County there, Daisy is, about 428 Causey, 419 Cutchin, which is still in eastern Leslie County at 420, Yetis at 422, over toward Halley. I believe that might be in Letcher County there. Blackie, I know, is in Letcher County for sure. I believe Halley is in Letcher County. So 431, 434 for Blackie. Flint at 435. Red Fox, which is in Knott County. Drive by Red Fox every day, coming back and forth to work at 437. And Van, which I know is in Letcher County, at 439. So this Letcher County, at least the western parts of Letcher County, included in this polygon. And let me take us back toward Letcher County just a second. I want to look at something to see if Isom maybe is included in this polygon too, because that'd be a more populated community out there. So Isom is, oh, it doesn't look like it. Maybe it is. Go back to the north just a little bit. Roxanne is a little south of Isom, maybe back toward Blackie just a smidge. Yeah, I would say it is because ISO's kind of right here. I don't know why it's not showing up. Actually, it's a little farther south than that. There's 160 near the lake. So again, it's a little further south. Take me a little further south there, Evan. Sorry about that. Just trying to get my bearings here. But it'd be kind of right in this area here along 15. So again, I think they're either just in it or just outside of it. But if these storms hold together, they're going to head that way. I can tell you that. Okay.
That's right, Brandon. And backing up, you can see the latest scan from the radar. Now, we're looking a little higher up from the Morristown radar. It's a little further away, but just northwest of Cinda, that is one area of rotation, and then another east of Asher. So we're kind of dealing with more than one.
Yeah, so there's two. There's one there. There's one just east of Asher. So it's across 421 by a long shot there. So Cinda, even Smilax over that way. Get in your safe spots right now because this is moving east. Big Fork along 699 going down toward Cutchin there. You need to be in your safe spot as well. I see Leatherwood behind me there off in the distance. That's over there on the, basically, I think it's part of Perry and Letcher County there, maybe even Leslie County as well, just a little bit there on that line. All three of those, it's eventually going to work its way towards you, but those are the areas he's got circled that we're concerned about at the minute. This is basically a tornado warning until 4:45 for parts of Leslie and Letcher. Anybody else included in that?
It's Leslie, Letcher, Southern Perry, and I think Far Eastern Knox.
Okay, so there you go. So that's about where we're at right now.
Or Clay, I'm sorry, Far Eastern Clay.
So basically that's where we're at. Let's go to our hazard camera for a second. I saw some lightning flashes over there. So that's how much we're seeing on the other computer, Josh. There we go. So there you go. Let's see if we can catch another lightning flash. So again, heavy rain here outside the station. This is on our roof. You can see the lightning flashing there in the distance. Heavy rain falling here in Hazard right now, and we're going to continue to kind of keep an eye on this. I just happened to see Evan had the camera up in the other Max box, and I noticed the flashing on that there on the big monitor over there. So we'll take you back to the other box now. That way we can show you tornado warning that we're continuing to track there by velocity. Again, once this kind of gets a little bit further in, we may, if it starts to die down a little bit, we may go back and show you before we wrap up coverage, kind of a full view of what's going on. But I can tell you, most of those counties west of, let's say, I'm going to say I-75 for sure, but
definitely
just east of I-75, parts of Clay County, parts of Knox County, parts of Bell County, you guys are in the clear. Anybody that's west of this, so we're in Leslie County right now, south of Hyden, south of Hazard, the Polygon, some of the bigger communities. We've got Viper, we've got back over toward Blackie and Letcher County, we've got probably down into parts of Southern Perry County. New scan just coming in. It's getting ready to cross 699, going down toward the Cutch community. Heavy, heavy rain here at the station right now.
We're getting the wind-driven rain, too. If you can switch that back over here. This is that squall line pushing on through parts of Perry County now. This is on top of the station at this point. We're just off Black Gold Boulevard, not far from downtown.
And you can see the rain being blown by that wind, as Evan was talking about there. So I'm going to, watch that right there. I'm going to step this way because the lightning has been clustered kind of over there on that side of the screen. So let's stay with this for just a second and see if we can see that lightning come across. So again, very electrical storms moving across the region. A little flash there. Let's see if we can see any more there. I think this is more cloud lightning than cloud to ground. I don't think we've seen any streaks with this one. At this point, I know there's been some strikes, but I don't know if they're actually reaching the ground, but it's lighting up the sky this morning. So we're at... Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about now. So basically, look right here on Black Gold Boulevard where you can see the wind pushing the water down the road. Lightning, very intense lightning here outside the studios. Our director, Josh, was telling us where to look, and I didn't catch it for a second, but you can see the water just going down Black Gold Boulevard there this morning, and we'll continue to watch that. Let's go back over to velocity. I know this is an interesting scene just to look at, but we want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on this tornado warning that's still kind of keeping things active here this morning, passing 421. Let's switch back over to the other Max box there, Josh, if you don't care. There we go. So now we've got this highlighted. Evan's got it circled. So crossing 699 just south of the Howard Rogers Parkway. That's 80 right there coming back toward Hazard. So the area of rotation just south there of the Howard Rogers Parkway going along 699. But it's still fairly broad. This is kind of an interesting feature right here, Evan, on the Leslie Perry County line, but it just disappeared. So new scan just took it away. It was interesting there because it was bright. Anywhere you kind of, and it's kind of still into Perry County just a little bit. Anywhere you see those brighter colors, it's kind of an indication it might just be a little bit, I don't want to say tighter, but a little bit more in the way of rotation here, right there near Farler, just south of Farler. So again, if we're seeing any tornadoes, it's going to be brief. It's going to be a spin up at best, and it's going to be basically down and then back up before, probably between scans. So this is a very quick hitting possible system there. No confirmed touchdowns. We've been tracking this since Wayne County, but no confirmed touchdowns at this point, and we'll continue to keep an eye on this as it moves into Perry County now.
That's right, Brandon. Have not seen anything new from the Weather Service anywhere we're not talking about, okay? This is pushing into southern Perry County right now, south of Farler, south of downtown Hazard, okay? This does not include Hazard. This is south of the city. South of places like Viper and south of, it's looking like it's going to move south of Vico, but this is something we need to watch. Anywhere we're not talking about, okay? I got a lot of folks on Facebook asking about, what about my area? What about my, town? If we're not talking about you, you're in good shape right now. Mm-hmm. Folks asking about Girdler or Bell County, Pineville, you're done. We're not worried about you anymore. Not that we're not worried about you, but we're not worried about you for this particular storm.
We're not currently worried about you because the worst of the storms has passed by you at this point, okay?
And right there, south of Viper, or west of Viper, near Farler, it's still a little broad, but again.
If anytime you see a brighter color too, that gives you an idea that it's getting closer to the, is this Jackson or Morristown?
This is Jackson.
Okay, so now it's getting closer to Jackson's radar, which is up in Breathitt County. You can see here, this is almost going to be crossing 7 and maybe eventually 15 as we get a little further over there. So 15 south of Hazard would go over into Knott County, which is part of Knott County is in this tornado warning, but 7 if you live along 7. Basically, let's say from Viper down to about Daisy. Be in your safe spot for the next little bit. This tornado warning goes till 4:45, but again, anywhere along 7 from Viper to Daisy, be in your safe spot.
Yeah, and this continues to scoot to the east at about 70 miles per hour. I'm going to back on out and the annotation will go away, but it's that area pushing to the east at 70 miles per hour. I'm going to highlight this real quick. Again, as this pushes on to the east and the northeast at about, well, it's moving at 70. And let's push it out for about 20 minutes.
There we go.
There we go.
So community's going to be impacted here pretty soon. Dow, community of Dow over there in Perry County, 424 Fusonia at 428 Vico, 430 Carcassonne, that's over in Letcher County. I think it's on the Letcher-Knott line actually, at 432 Letcher proper, at 434 Red Fox in Knott County, at 435 Van, at 438 Colson, which is near my house, about 439 this morning. South Down, which is over in Letcher County there at 441, and Faraday at 443. So this system is rocking and rolling there, moving fast, getting ready to cross Highway 7. So if you're between Viper and Daisy right now, you need to be downstairs under something sturdy, in a basement if you have one, or if you're in a mobile home and you can't get anywhere quickly, make sure you get out, try to find a ditch just in case. We have no confirmed touchdowns. We have no damage reports. Want to be very clear and upfront about that. We're just continuing to track these storms, and we're going to be on the air as long as this tornado warning is still active. Continues as of about a minute ago for Leslie, Letcher, and Perry counties. They took Clay County out of it. At 423, it was over Slemp, or 10 miles south of downtown Hazard. That was moving east, still at 70 miles per hour. So that continues there as we head further on to the east, and we will continue to right here south of Viper. Yeah. If I had to pinpoint a spot and said, oh, I'm keeping an eye on that, that's going to cross Highway 7 south of Viper, west, very close to Fusonia. Yeah. So if you're in Fusonia, over toward Defiance and even up to Vico, go ahead. If you're not already in that tornado safe spot, go ahead and get there, because we are dealing with it's tightening up a little bit. It is, and you can kind of see it right here. We talked about earlier where the reds and greens meet. We're on Jackson's radar right now, and anywhere you see a little bit of brighter green, which is basically right there just to the west of Fusonia, right there approaching Highway 7. A little south of Viper at this point, just past Dow a few minutes ago, and now we're going to continue to see this track over 7 here pretty quickly. This storm moving fast, 70 miles per hour forward speed. So this will eventually cross over toward the kind of Knott and Letcher County lines. They kind of all meet up right there along 15. So basically this is basically Knott County, here's Perry County, and here's Letcher County. So they're all going to come together, and this storm is going to kind of come right through there if it continues on that track where those 3 counties merge.
So again, this storm continues to push to the east at 70 miles per hour. This is looking more towards the northern side of this polygon. So the Weather Service was highlighting the circulation down near Slimp a few minutes ago, but I'm looking more toward areas south of Viper, near Fusonia, and that's going to cross 7 here within the next couple of seconds until we get that next scan. So and there it is. Yeah. And actually, we've lost some of the bright colors, but we are seeing
a little bit of tightening
where they're tightening up right there, and that's headed right for Fusonia. Yeah,
so basically if you're in Fusonia right now, you need to be in your safe spot. Hopefully you're already there. Stay there till we give you the all clear, because this storm is racing towards you. It's getting ready to cross Highway 7 there, just west of Fusonia. If you live in that area, make sure you're in your tornado safe spot. But this has been cycling all the way across our region. We started tracking this in Wayne County. Actually, so really started tracking it in McCree County, I think. But it's been crossing the area, cycling up, cycling down. So we're going to continue to watch this. But Fusonia, you guys right now need to be in your safe spot as this crosses 7. And again, south of Vico, Viper, you're basically, for the most part, clear hazard. The rain has already started to die down. We can hear it here on the roof of the station. It's kind of quieted down a little bit. So this is running kind of south of Highway 15, right up here, Defiance, Vico. That's where Highway 15 goes over toward Red Fox. Now, parts of those areas, including Defiance and Vico, still in the tornado warning polygon. But the area, if a tornado is going to touch down, is basically right here along Highway 7 near Fusonia right now. The next scan will probably take it across Highway 7 and then back out into far eastern portions there of southern Perry County.
That's right, Brandon. I'm just making sure my sound is up so I can hear when the next warnings come in. But yes, pushing on to the east there. And again, I'm going to go back, and we haven't done this. I've been looking at this behind the scenes, but this is the first time in a little bit we've seen that tightening up as it has. I'm looking at what we call the correlation coefficient. Okay, and
ooh, maybe
that's not a lot.
It's not a lot, but kind of watch right here as it approaches 7. But again, if one, and we're not saying that this has happened, okay, let me make that very, very clear. But if one has touched down, it would be brief, back up between the scans, but a little, I can see a little bit right there, maybe just west of 7. Not saying for sure, but maybe.
And let me do a little radar meteorology explanation here. What we're looking at, we've labeled it debris here. That's kind of the easiest way to understand it. What the radar is looking at is how similar objects are next to each other. Okay, when they're close, when that value is closer to 1, like we're seeing here, you get a lot of red on the map. That means that everything is very close together in size. That means we're looking at rain or even some snow or small hail. When it's a little bit lower, you start to see the yellows, and when it gets really bad, it's the blues and the greens. That means that things in the air are not the same size. That's when you're getting that tornado debris. That's why that's so interesting to us, because it's not a uniform color like everything else. But it's not so that we say, oh, we've had something here. It's just something we're interested in. It's something we're going to watch, because this is the tightest that couplet has been in a little bit, as that pushes there through south central parts of Perry County. I'll clear that off.
Okay, we have a couple of new severe thunderstorm warnings to our south. So let's check those out real fast. Down into East Tennessee. I don't know if there are any, if there's a tornado possible tag on. I just got the alert.
Oh, that is a very small sliver there at Campbell County.
Okay, so I just got the text from the Weather Service Morristown on my watch here, so I just wanted to check that.
Yeah, that's just a small sliver of Campbell County, Tennessee.
Okay,
and so we'll check on that. But notice how that's kind of flattened out.
Yeah.
They're near Fusonia, and sometimes these can lag a little bit. So I'm going to check the debris. Yeah,
don't see anything there.
Not seeing. So that was more of a blip.
Right.
That's not indicating to us that we've seen anything. It's lower. We're looking lower in the storm than we have been. It's about 2,000. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, that
was
really
quick.
was fast. So
now
basically, it's east of Fusonia now, going down toward Cornetsville, and then Uvula there over in Letcher County. So again, this is more, I think this is more pulling toward the Perry-Letcher County line than it is going back over toward Knott County right now, at least the area of rotation that we're kind of watching here.
At this point, yes. And not saying there may not be another one down there near Daisy, but that's really broad.
Yeah.
I'd be more interested in the one they're kind of approaching the Knott Perry-Letcher kind of triple point
the complex,
there.
yeah.
I'd say Confluence, but there's a town called Confluence.
Exactly,
it's not really close
Leslie
to
County. But yeah, so again, right here is where the three counties kind of meet. This is Perry County, this is Letcher County, this is Knott County. So it's south of 15, north of 7 there, although it did cross 7 as it went through parts of Perry County, and now approaching the Letcher County border. Now, it could still clip parts of southern Knott County there, kind of right there along the border. Now, the polygon, I think,
does not include Knott
County. So they must have scaled that back a little bit. Actually, it's kind of, I see now it's kind of going right along the Knott County line. So they may have scaled that back once they saw where the bulk of this storm was going to go. But I would still, even right here is kind of what we're watching, east of 7. If it pushes kind of in the same direction it's going, I would still, even though you're not in the polygon, right there in southern Knott County near the lake, near Carr Creek Lake, still maybe be getting into a safe spot. They may end up, depending on how this tracks, pushing that back into Knott County just a little bit. I have to wait and see what the Weather Service decides to do with that. But just that's just me telling you, if I'm on Carr Creek Lake, if I'm in one of the travel trailers that are still out there, I think those have been kind of spared down a little bit since people were finding homes again after the flood in July. But there's probably still some out there if you're on any of those houseboats at the marina there at Carr Creek Lake. It might be a time to get into, find a shelter, at least until this system continues to pass us by there. But again, we're kind of seeing it drift more possibly into Letcher County at this point, but our friends in southern Knott County want to keep an eye on you as well. And looking at this is really broadened out. Now, I would say the greatest area of rotation is in Knott County now at this point, and we'll see what the Weather Service does with this. This warning was set to go until 4:45. And they've even scaled it back because I thought it was a little bit. Well, Red Fox was included.
New tornado warning.
All right, so we're going to the north now.
This one includes Floyd, southern Floyd. This does not include Prestonsburg. This is well south of Prestonsburg.
But it does include Hindman.
Doesn't include Hindman.
No, it does. It does include Hindman, right?
No, it does not.
Where's the? Oh, it's okay. It's,
the polygon.
Sorry, I have polygon overlap. I got you.
Oh wow, that can't draw.
Yeah, I got you now. But that does include Colson, close to where I live. So there you go. So this is basically right here. In fact, we'll highlight it here, and there it is. Southern Knott County, northern Letcher, very far southern Floyd. I mean, very far southern Floyd. So that doesn't even include McDowell. You're right. So let me clarify. That does not include Hindman, okay? Does not include Prestonsburg, does not include McDowell, which is a more populated area. Does include Weeksbury, though, right there in southern Floyd County. That's until 5 o'clock. So we're going up to what would normally be morning news time during the weekdays. So we're going to continue to carry this live until 5 o'clock. So just stay with us there and bear with us. But again, this is going through areas that are not as populated, but I do see Jenkins is included in this polygon, isn't it? Yes, very close to Jenkins and southern Pike County. We didn't get to get to that part. So basically 119 will be one of the next major roads it crosses. Of course, this will be going over 15 at some point. So let's zoom into it. This is now moving east at 60, by the way. So it's slowing down. It's slowing down a little bit as we're starting to run out of the better. Steering with this, but that's headed toward Colson over the next few minutes, which is in far northern parts of there in Letcher County. Yeah, so that's pretty close. I live basically just south of Colson, and we're kind of watching this area right here to see if there's any possible rotation right there. Matter of fact, Evan, I'm going to let you take it for a minute. I'm going to go text my wife. Okay. And we were talking just a few minutes ago about the tornado warnings in parts of, or the severe thunderstorm warnings in parts of Tennessee, Campbell County. That was a tornado possible, and now there is a tornado warning there west of Knoxville. In fact, includes Knox County, Tennessee. So if you know anybody out toward the Knoxville area, give them a text, let them know that they're dealing with something, but we're dealing with something here in the mountains, and that is the potential for some rotation here with this thunderstorm. I'm going to put that on, but I'm going to take it off because that is not the right speed there. Hang on. We're now moving east at 60 miles per hour, and it's very broad, but it's moving toward the Colson area right now. And over the next 30 minutes, as this storm
continues to push to the east over the next 40 minutes or so. As we head over the next little bit, this is actually 30 minutes. So Colson here within the next really 3 minutes or so. Lucastown 443, McRoberts by 450, Weeks-Barre, that's southern Floyd County, by 451, Dorton by 455 there in parts of Pike County. Hilton by 458, and if it pushes, continues where it is, Robinson Creek, that's south of Pikeville, and over toward Ash Camp here by about a little after 5 o'clock. So that's going to continue to push to the east at 60 miles per hour. So you don't have a ton of time to watch this as it pushes to the east. So we're going to continue to watch this particular thunderstorm with a tornado warning, which continues at this point until 5 o'clock for parts of Floyd, far southern Knott, or eastern, or southern Knott, yes. Northern Letcher, which does not include downtown Whitesburg. Far eastern Perry, I would say that threat is moving out of the polygon there. And southern Pike County, which does not include downtown Pikeville. So kind of backing up here, and we've also lost the rotation a little bit more, which is good news at this point, but that area of rotation is moving south.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning for northern Letcher County, east central Perry County, southern Knott County, southern Floyd County, southwestern Pike County until 5 a.m. At 4:33 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Cody, Oregon, 9 miles south of Hindman, moving east at 60 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Colson around 4:40 a.m., Dean around 4:45 a.m., Spade around 4:50 a.m. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Myra and Lookout. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 5 a.m. for the following counties in Kentucky: Floyd, Knott, Letcher, Perry, and Pike.
As well. That one, the polygon does not include Whitesburg, but they decide to extend that one. That will include the city of Whitesburg, but right now it does not. But right now, any areas, and Evan, since you're back in here, let's zoom in here a little close to just south of Colson there on velocity. And right here is the area. Basically, right here is my house. So if you live near me and you're watching, get in your tornado safe spot. We do not have any confirmed touchdowns, but again, just like the flood, we want to make sure you're staying safe there across that part of the region. I live just up the road from Polly. This is 931. I know that road very well. There's 7 going back toward Democrat through Colson, 1410 going over to Knott County's over that way. You've got Highway 15 out toward Isom. You got 931 that goes into Whitesburg if you continue to go over that way across Camp Branch Mountain. So again, any of those areas I'm calling out right now where these greens and reds are a little bit closer together, that's where we're watching that possible rotation.
That's right, Brandon, and I just want to point this out. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water.
That's fine. I got one when I was out, too.
Let me tell you, I'm a new man.
Yep.
As that pushes to the east, where it is losing definition, which is good. It's not nearly as tight as it previously was across portions of northern Letcher County there south of Colson.
Right.
And we're also watching just to the south. It's not in our immediate viewing area, obviously. The west side of Knoxville is under a tornado warning now.
So that storm is also moving kind of to the northeast. So is that clipping Campbell County?
No.
Okay.
They actually, just Morristown took that out of the warning. But,
okay.
That's going to move south of La Follette and south of Jacksboro, so that's not going to be a concern for us. But so back to the tornado warned storm in our area, we do have a little bit of that circulation, and that's why this tornado warning continues for another 18 and a half minutes there into northern parts of Letcher County.
So again, we're watching the areas, new scan just coming in there.
It's really broadened out.
Yeah, it's really broadened out. So that's some great news. But again, stay in your safe spot until we clear you, especially if you're in parts of Letcher County. And then in Neon, McRoberts, back over toward Beefhide, Dorton, Southern Pike County, close to Jenkins. And this will eventually drift into Southwest Virginia if it holds together. So again, if you're over in these areas kind of to the west of that polygon, you need to be in your safe spot and stay there until we give you the all clear at this point. But we're continuing to watch this. I will be real honest with you, and we're big about transparency here. I know, and I can probably speak for Evan too, we did not expect this to travel this far. We expected the possibility for maybe some severe storms back out into parts of the I-75 and Lake Cumberland corridor, but we've been tracking this since McCreary County. And Evan, we didn't expect this to come this far because the atmosphere over here has been worked over a lot already.
That's true. We saw a lot of rain during the day on Friday. I can't say today. We're well into Saturday.
It's Saturday now.
But yeah, we continue. Now we've had the dynamics in place, but the general idea was that these storms were going to run out of fuel before they got this far, and most of them have, to be honest here. It's just this one cell that keeps going. Now we have some heavy wind up towards, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at radar scope, up towards portions of Martin County, getting ready to move through downtown Prestonsburg. That is a stout line of wind.
But that's not a warned storm.
That is not warned. That is 50-mile-an-hour winds with that storm. Most of this is not severe, but the one area that has been into portions of it's now into portions of northern Letcher County, and most of the area of rotation is going to be out of Knott County.
Right.
And that's the warning doesn't include Pippa passes. If you know anybody on the campus of Alice Lloyd College, this is not a threat for them. It's well to their south. Excuse me, as that continues to push on to the east at this point.
Take me down to the south there, just south of Roxana, south and east there, right there.
It just looks like kind of the boundary of where.
Yeah, I was trying to see if that was anything, trying to get a little closer look. No, it's just, I saw the greens and reds and I was just trying to figure it out. But yeah, so that's not an overly concerning area, but I just want to keep an eye on that because if this warning gets pushed out, Whitesburg would be included in this one.
Yeah, I think that is the warning. They're going to let that go. Okay. Because that was for that original couplet that went a little further to the north.
Right.
So I think that warning is going to be allowed to expire. The one that includes Perry and Leslie and
I think we just lost a lot of our rotation here.
We really did. That is
so that's great
very broad.
Yeah, so that's broadened out quite a bit. Now again, this has cycled up and down since it went through since it's come from McCreary County. We have tracked this storm literally from McCreary County. I thought it was Wayne County originally. I had to think about it for a second, but it was McCreary County when it actually hit a tornado warning. But again, this is great news because it shows that while the winds are still cranking, the rotation in the wind is not as stout as it was just one scan ago, even 2 scans ago. So that's some good news. But don't let your guard down. You're still on that tornado warning until, what was this, in 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
Till 5 o'clock, so about basically 15 more minutes, coming up on 4:45 right now. But 15 more minutes, but still stay in your safe spot there for a while longer, even though it looks like, again, we're looking in better shape there in Letcher County.
That's right, and we have seen no reports of anything on the ground. We've had no reports of damage. Go. Yeah, there's that other warning was let go, and it was allowed to expire at 4:45. We have not seen anything on this at this point, and there's the next scan. And let me tell you, it's only partially in there. You see where that sharp cutoff is east of Colson?
Right.
That's kind of a radar anomaly as it's getting the full sweep in. Right. But that couplet is gone.
Yeah, so that one, but here's the thing. We're going to wait for a couple more scans. We're going to wait for the warning dam regardless, but we're going to wait for a couple more scans to see because we have seen this all the way from out into parts of the western half of the area. It cycles up and it cycles down, but I don't believe, even from McCreary County, we've seen it completely disappear. We've seen it get weaker and more broad, but we haven't seen it completely disappear like it has here, and that's great news. But I can tell you right now, some of those heavy winds are still out there cranking into parts of coming up basically on the eastern half of Letcher County now. It's going to be crossing US 119 here pretty soon, 610 up toward Dorton, which is in southern Pike County, going up there a little bit into parts of Floyd County. You see Weaksbury is still in this tornado warning. That's in southern Floyd County. Then Dorton, of course, southern Pike County. Jenkins is right there on the edge of this polygon as well. So again, this is good news, but don't let your guard down yet. Stay in your safe spot until this tornado warning expires, which should be here in about 14 minutes unless they let it go early, actually closer to 13 minutes at this point.
And that's right. And again, I'm going to put a loop on this.
Yeah, kind of take us back a little bit.
This is the last 3 hours of motion. Oh, that is way too fast. Hang on.
Maybe just do the last hour. Because the storm was moving so fast, you know, there you go. So we've been watching this. Again, we've tracked this across most of the area there, and you can kind of watch it. We switched from one radar source to another, but watch basically starting here in Knox County. You can see a little bit when those greens and blues get together, then it switches over to greens and reds, and it's basically died at this point. So that's great news. But again, like I said, don't let your guard down just yet. Just got an alert from the WYMT First Alert Weather app. Lightning detected 1.3 miles from Whitesburg. So again, a very electrical storm still over there right now. But we've been tracking this since basically McCreary County. So this has been coming across several counties. Warning keeps getting extended, but this might be the last shot for this storm. And again, let's go back to reflectivity for just a second, because I want to show you now with this warning how close these storms are getting to the borders. So this one right here, let's go kind of a more broad view in general. That way we can kind of show a lot of folks kind of where we're going. But a lot of these storms, most of them, there's still a few around kind of scattered storms just south of the I-64 Mountain Parkway corridor. There's just a few around Hazard to the south, back over into Knox County, but no other warnings except for this tornado warning there in Letcher County, parts of Pike County, parts of Floyd County. But most of that squall line getting more jagged. It is traveling out, and then you get back out into central Kentucky, dry. But this is not it. This is not the rest of this system, okay? We have more to go. Cold front, low pressure, still moving in, still moving through. We're going to continue to see winds be a big factor for us as we head through the rest of the day. So even when the storms move out, we are not done with this system. So please hear me when I say that. We could see wind gusts 40, 45, 50, 60 miles per hour depending on where you are throughout the day. Even if it's beautiful blue skies and sunshine, it does not matter. This is not a system that's going to go away quickly. So this is basically why I said on Friday morning, it's a 48-hour event, and we're still going through that right now. Wind advisory until 8 p.m. Saturday night. So tonight, basically, we're already well into Saturday morning. So until 8 p.m. on Saturday night. High wind warning kicks in at 8 a.m. this morning, goes to 8 o'clock tonight. You guys in those counties that are showing as a high wind warning are still under a wind advisory for now, but that'll kick over at 8 o'clock this morning to a high wind warning, okay? So let's go back to radar. Let's go back to velocity, and we'll continue to track that one storm there and see how it's going to play out for the next little bit. As a matter of fact, did they let that warning go?
No,
it's still there. It's still there. Just a little bit. But again, just south, if you're looking at reflectivity now, just south of Weaksbury, and you can tell anywhere where it bows out like this, that's very strong wind. So it just went through Whitesburg, very electrical. You see the lightning strikes down there in Whitesburg, crossing back over. Jenkins could be hitting you pretty close, right? Is that anything right here, or is that just radar noise? Back over here just a little bit, right here. Kind of along the county lines there. Nah, not really.
Yeah, it's a pretty
kind of
unidirectional at this point to use a Jeopardy word there.
Yeah, so basically just north of Neon. And it's gone. So there you go. So 4:50, we've been tracking this since what? What time?
About 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so we went on the air about almost 2 hours ago. So again, the storm threat continues, the rain chances continue, but all the warnings have now been allowed to expire. So we're just before 5 o'clock here. We're not going to keep you too much longer, but if you're traveling along 119 this morning, you're going to see some heavy rain as it continues to work its way toward Pike County, eastern Letcher County there. Again, rain across most of the regions. Go out to a wider view there, Evan, real quick to wrap this up. And
take us home.
We'll take us home. As we head into the late morning hours, the rain is going to clear out here probably the next 2 hours, honestly, by at least 7 o'clock. I would say most of this rain will be out of here and a thing of the past, but that is not the end of this system. Please hear me when I say that. Even when the sun comes out, even when those skies start to clear, phase 2 of this system will kick in. Wind advisory, high wind warning. Those run until 8 o'clock tonight. Let's pull that map up one more time there. The tornado watch still goes out to 7 for some counties unless they canceled that, but we're not worried about that anymore because the areas that were included, the rain has even passed them. So this is what we're concerned about now. The high wind warning kicks in at 8 o'clock this morning. I know the map is already showing it, but it doesn't kick in until 8. Until then, there is a wind advisory in effect until 8. That will transition over into a high wind warning from the line basically through Powell, Wolf, Breathitt, Knott, Letcher, Dickinson, Buchanan, and then east. Okay, that's where the high wind warning will be, and that means you could see gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour in that. Now, the wind advisory is for basically Estill, Lee, Owsley, Perry, Harlan, Lee and Wise, Virginia, and West. Okay, regardless, that is still 45 to 50 miles per hour. Non-thunderstorm wind gust can still bring down power lines. With the saturated ground, still could bring down trees onto power lines, onto houses. So you need to stay weather aware, keep that first alert weather app handy throughout the day. And again, just continue to watch. Even though when the rain is gone, we could see some issues even once these storms clear out. So again, approaching 5 o'clock, we're going to take you back to regular programming at this point. If anything else develops, we're not expecting that to. We'll be right back here on the air for you. But as you can see, these storms are on the way out. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate your trust, and we will see you a little bit later on this morning.
You're watching WYMT.